وقال مصطفى صلى الله عليه وسلم خيركم من تعلم القرآن وعلمه وقال مصطفى صلى الله عليه وسلم كلكم راء وكلكم مسؤول عن رعيته أو كما قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم. نسأل الله يجعلنا من الذين يستمعون القول فيتبعون أحسنه. My respected elders, brothers and sisters, the topic of this khutbah is back home syndrome. Back home syndrome. Now, if you check any medical book, you can't find this disease, but we are suffering from it and we are paying a heavy price. Now, what is back home syndrome? Now, this is something, a term that are coined based on what we've been going through. And let me tell you in advance, just for you to know, I'm not a sheikh, so I don't normally follow the pattern of the sheikhs because I'm not one of them. So sometimes you see me coming from different angles and say that, who is this sheikh? I'm not. Some 20 years ago, I was right here in New York. It's still hard for me to believe. 20 years. It's like a blink of an eye. And Alhamdulillah, I have brothers who I connected with. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala connected me with them. That, mashallah, they were teaching me Islam and taking me to classes. This brother is one of them. Baba Jati, right here. 20 years ago. He's my witness. Why did I keep on saying 20 years ago? Because it comes in a twinkle of an eye. And what has that got to do with back home syndrome? Back home syndrome is a mentality, a mindset that we have, with all due respect, that we will be going back home. And 90% of us will die here. You are here alone, you brought your wife, or you get married, you have children, and you still saying that I'm going back home. Which home? What do you call home? How do you define home? The Prophet ﷺ was born in Makkah, right or wrong? But towards the end of his life, when he will go to Makkah, he will pray Qasr. Because that wasn't home anymore. Medina was home. Why? Because he was residing in Medina, so Medina became home. So your home, checking from the Prophet ﷺ, is where you live. It's only when you consider a place a home, then you start to think how to make it a home and create a mechanism for it to work for you as a home. Our children are in trouble. And partly it's because of us, it's because of our mindset. A teenager, I was called in. A teenager was asking the parents and the sheikhs about the existence of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I don't believe it. I don't believe it anymore. Because according to science, God doesn't exist. And we didn't see God so far. Nobody saw God. So it doesn't exist. It wouldn't have been shocking, but the fact that this is our child. It's not like born of atheist or agnostic or even a Christian. No. One of our own. And the question is, how did it get to this point? What are we doing to allow our children to expose themselves to all this propaganda and all these lies that they've been imbibing in, and it has now become part of their mindset? Because we're going back home. So why should you bother? Now if you're going back home, then good luck. But one thing you should know, they are not. You can go back home, but they are not. Why? This is their home. So what are we doing to ensure that this becomes their home? And because of this back home syndrome, we're doing next to nothing. Our number one priority is money. Number two, money. Number three, money. And we don't have money. Trust me, I don't know most of, mashallah, a lot of people, I don't know most of them. But if I swear there is no billionaire among us, there's no kafara on me. If you have a billionaire, you will be praying salat here. Trust me. And that's why anytime you give your zip code, if they ask you, you live in New York, your zip code, that's what they want. The moment you state 104, whatever comes, don't worry about it. You are a poor person. So wallah, it's no more about us. It's about our children. But unfortunately, this is where we've got into. Our children now are questioning Islam. Subhanallah. They say based on science. But what is science? What is science? You know, Darwin in Britain, you know, he wasn't actually the originator. He was actually the one later on who propagated this to a certain level that it was taken to be scientific. That we started from non-living things, and then we became together, and this one, because of symbiosis, they added and they became this, and then we turned into fish, and then fish jumped from the sea, and then it became, and then we developed into a monkey, then it does a gorilla, then the gorilla started walking on their feet, and they became black men, and then they start traveling to Asia, then they became Asians, and then when they get to Europe, they get to a certain level, now they are the highest level, so they became white men. And people bought it. But that was yesterday's science. And this brother, this young man, questioning didn't even know about it. That was yesterday's science. Now if you go quoting this, people will be laughing at you. Why? Because now science, I'm not talking, it goes beyond the spiritual or the philosophical realm. The existence of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala now is scientific. It's now scientific. As a matter of fact, no one, I repeat, no one, and I repeat, no one in the world can use science to disprove God. None. Nobody. Nobody. Now if you have, as Dr. Hoyle said, more or less, if you have metal scrap and then you subject them to tornado, you don't expect tornado to hurl metal scrap and then bring you an aircraft. It has never happened and it will never happen. And yet, that's even easier than to have all these peptides, polypeptides in a bacteria. And bacteria is just one cell organism. We have our doctor here, where is he? One cell. And as a human being, you have between 60 to 100 trillion. If the whole world cannot create one cell, how do you expect non-living things on their own to come together and create a human being? How? So it was only when we sat this boy down, when we sat the person down and broke things into pieces and showed all the fraud behind Darwinism, that was when the person realized that, oh my God, I was watching the wrong lectures on YouTube. And now let's come to the parents who bought the child the phone. Why on earth will you have all this sophisticated device for your child? Because we don't have time for them. And in order to cover our guilt, we try to get them all these sophisticated gadgets. And they have access to everything. And by everything, I mean everything. And when you ask the brother at Fajr Salat, where is your son? Said, you know, American kids, they sleep late. How did we get to a point where our kids now decide we went to sleep? And we're so afraid of them that we don't even have the guts to wake them for Fajr. We can't. And wallahi, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to hold us responsible. There's no doubt about it. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to hold each and everyone responsible. Kullukum ra'i wa kullukum mas'ulun an ra'iyati, without exception. Each and every one of us is a shepherd and will be held accountable for that which he has been entrusted. In this context, we're talking about our children. If a brother, I said it the last time and I'm repeating it, if one of our own, Brother Hussein, will travel all the way from Kenya and give birth to a child here to become a president, why should our children be roaming in all these streets, committing all these crimes? They're not even staying behind. That was the reason why we are distinct. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says of us, كنتم خير أمة أخرجت للناس تأمرون بالمعروف وتنهون عن المنكر وتؤمنون بالله. You are the best among mankind. Why? You think it's because of technology? No. Because we live in a time where you can take just few hours, travel from here and any other part of the world. No. Ta'muruna bil ma'ruf. You enjoy that which is good. Wa tanhauna 'anil munkar. You forbid that which is bad. Wa tu'minuna billah. And unflinchingly believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now these three pillars that define us as Muslims, mostly we break all these three. So it's just the opposite. Ta'muruna bil ma'ruf, enjoying that which is good. We don't. Because if we do, then we know Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to hold us responsible, and we're going to ensure that our children are on the right path. At least we should have timetable. This is what I intend to do. This is from this time to that time, without compromise. That's for my children. That's for my family. From this time to this time, that's for work. From this time to this time, that's for studies. Each and every one of us must have a path, a goal. So what is your goal? Going back home? That's a delusion. Wallahi, that's a delusion. Most of these kids, most of these young, handsome kids you saw, they were born right in front of us, right here in the Bronx. And from the day they were born till this day, look at this handsome young boy, a friend of my friend. We knew him since he was a toddler. Look at him. Tell me a day. You know, in English, when you say a day, a means one, right? A day. That as a community, we came together as a community, had a meeting, and planned and tell him this is what we expect of you one day in 20 years. Tell me. So what are we doing? What are we doing as a community? What are we doing as a Muslim community? What are we doing? We always shift the blame to others. Oh, these people have done this, and that people have done this, and these people have done this, and you know this. The reason why we are suffering is because of that people, and because of these people, they have taken over everything. And okay, so what are you doing about it? The blame game is over. What are you doing about it? What am I doing about it? How could you live for 10, 15, 20 years without having a community meeting? Not even once. So what is the community? What is the community? I gave some masjids of how to contribute $1 once a week, only Fridays, $1. And in 4 years you can raise $1 million. Recently I asked them, did you implement it? Why not? Because we're going back home. Why should we? 4 years is too long, you know. 4 years, that will be. And wallahi, before you knew it, that is from that 4 years it becomes 40 years. From that 4 years it will become 40 years. I saw my father somewhere. When he picked me up at the airport, that was 20 years ago, guy, over 20 years. When he picked me up and brought me right here in the Bronx, I was looking around. Where are we? And today, there are places that I know in the Bronx that he has never been to in 20 years. So there's going to be things evolving from one place to the other. By the time it gets to our children, we don't want our children to be competing with us on the street taking passengers. We want them to think big. We want them to be governors, the mayor, the president. If others can do it, why not us? Why not? But it requires strategy. It requires planning. It requires unity. And we don't have it. We talk a lot of how others discriminate against us, right or wrong. They discriminate against us because of our color. They discriminate against us because of our religion. They discriminate against us because of this. Good luck. And you are right. So what are you doing about it? The discrimination between us is worse than the discrimination of others against us. During the time of the Prophet ﷺ, have you ever even once seen a hadith? You can't find it in Sahih, so let's find out this that's even Maudu. That Bilal radiallahu anhu had African Masjid, or Salman Farisi had a Persian Masjid, or Shuaib Rumi had white man's Masjid. So what we have today, every country has its own masjid. And wallahi, you will not see discrimination unless you go there looking for something. You'll be shocked. It's not because you are a Muslim. No, you are not from our country. Because even within the country, you're not from our religion. You're not from our region. Within that region, you're not from our tribe. And even if you are from our tribe, you're not from our village. There's nothing worse than this. The Prophet ﷺ condemned tribalism. And he told us to actually distance ourselves from it. It's disgusting. But that's what we imbibe. That's why we're not moving forward. It's about me. It's about my country, my brother, my respected elders, brothers and sisters. This is New York City. And so if you bring all this tribal garbage and try to apply it here, our children will end up bearing the brunt. That's why you see them. Look at this young, handsome, beautiful this. We have among them here. As a matter of fact, I don't know of any masjid. I don't know of any masjid in the Bronx that has more Hufaz al-Quran than this same masjid. This very masjid. I don't know of any other masjid. But we have young men that have all memorized Quran like this masjid. By now, there should be what? The mayor and the governors. But it requires what? My brother, if you can memorize Quran, everything else, wallah, it becomes very spongy. There is no field that you cannot get in and excel. No field. And yet we have no plan. When I say we, I'm talking of we as Muslims. We have no plan for our children. We have not even planned for the community. We don't have community meetings. Do you? I've known this brother more or less about 20 years. I don't even know his name. I like him. Anytime I see him, brother, I don't even know his name. So where do we start? And so the fact that now our children are questioning Islam partly has to do with us. And it partly has to do with our mindset. And that is the back home syndrome. My brother, who told you you'll be going back home? Yes, let's give you the benefit of that, you're going back home. But who told you you will? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, the last ayah of Surah Al-Luqman, Inna Allah indahu ilmu as-sa'ah wa yunazzilu al-ghayth wa ya'lamu ma fil arham wa ma tadri nafsun madha taksibu ghadan wa ma tadri nafsun bi ayyi ardin tamut. Inna Allah alimul khabir. Our point here is no one knows where he's going to die. So the idea of, I'm trying to do all this and go back home and, have a nice retirement and then die. Who told you? So my respected elders, brothers and sisters, wallah, it's painful that it has got to a certain point that our children, things that has never crossed your mind, never, things that we've never seen, don't underestimate American child. I'm telling you this. In some cases, they have two faces. When they want something for you, the face is different. When they are alone in their room, the face is different. I'm not saying all of them. But then they have also one quality that we've never harnessed. American child is always ambitious. This is the quality that we have to harness and actually channel them to the right path. Didn't Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in Surah Al-Rahman, Ba'da a'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim, Hal jaza'ul ihsan illa al-ihsan? A rhetorical question. Is there any reward for good other than good? America has given you all these opportunities. What are you giving back? That's the question. Hal jaza'ul ihsan illa al-ihsan? What good thing are you actually giving back? Irresponsible children, criminals, unreproductive kids, irresponsible citizens. That's what we're giving back. Muslims. And every one of us, mashallah, is ready, mashallah. And sometimes something very strange. You see us even arguing among themselves. You see among all the Jannah, all this. I just want to build a Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. I want Jannatul Firdaus, mashallah. With this, mashallah, we all want that. But let us be practical. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will consider you only if you present something good. And that's why everywhere in Al-Quran, Inna alladhina amanu wa amilu salihat. Illa alladhina amanu wa amilu salihat. Your illa alladhina amanu, that's what you profess as a Muslim. Wa amilu salihat, it must be backed by action. And that's where we woefully lack to put on record our actions. So please, my respected elders, brothers and sisters, time has come for us to actually accept it or not. This is home. So let us change our mindset. This is home. Let us have time for our children. let us sit them down. Let us be their friends. You have no choice. If you don't befriend them, someone else will. And in most cases, it's going to direct them to a jungle that you will end up regretting. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to hold us responsible. Wallahi, none of us can actually stand in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and say, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, I was in New York City and I was a little bit busy, so I couldn't. You see what Malaka will do to you, wallahi. So wallahi, let us accept the fact that our kids, we shouldn't see them as a liability. No. They are treasure. And a treasure must be what? Be welcome. Must be put in good use. And that's where education comes in. At least, let me quickly give you, I think the last time I mentioned it here, let me quickly give you, I don't want someone to say that this brother must be crazy. How could $1 raise 4 million? I gave them. I told them if everyone will give $1 in that masjid, if you give $1 every Friday, and then you select the best among the best, you're not putting the rest down, but you're selecting the best among the best. You have a 3-4 people. And this $1 you always give them on weekly basis. Listen, we want you to get in the medical field. We want you to get into the technological field. We want you to get into the business field. And for every week, this is what you give them. That $1. So by the time you put it, you have about $300-400, for instance. So every week, every boy knows that now he has been put to actually study science, and the community is counting on him. They even give him $100 a week. That will boost his morale. And anytime they give him any reward, any award, you actually pinch it on the wall. He feels good. And so you know the community is counting on him. That will actually push him to study. All these gadgets that are Facebook, what are the names? WhatsApp, and killing their time. Now that they know that we're counting on them, and we are having serious Islamic meeting. I'm not talking of, tribal meeting or no. Islamic meeting. These are Muslim community. Okay, among the kids, this one from what he has memorized, and from this he can be good in this. You in science, you know how to talk. You talk too much, so you be in business. You concentrate too much on this technology. When you do that in 4 years, they can come with an app. It's all about app. The richest man in the world, Mr. Jeff, he doesn't manufacture anything. All what he has is an app. That's it. To connect buyers and sellers. That's it. With an app, if you have an app and sell it for $19.99, that's a nice way of saying $20. In America, we're very sophisticated, so we don't say $20. Because psychologists have already figured out that the money will always focus on the first number. So it's always $19.99. So it's always even $19.99. It's not $20. And if you sell it for 50,000 people, that's $1 million. And it's doable. That's how you raise $1 million in 4 years with only $1. Is doable? Yes. Are we prepared to do it? It depends on our mindset. And so please, our kids are draining slowly. When they are alone in their rooms with their phones, you don't know what they're doing. It's only when we count on them and then tell them what we want them to be and teach them Islam and have time for them. Even when they are in their rooms, they will be reciting Quran and then listen. Come together, let's do this and then study very hard in order to get there. Because what? They know we are watching. They know we're counting on them. That boosts their morale and that puts them on their path. I cannot do it alone, you cannot do it alone. It takes a village to raise a kid. But we can only achieve this if we get rid of the back home syndrome and accept the fact that this is home. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will hold us responsible on how we raise our kids. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is our face. ربنا ظلمنا أنفسنا وإن لم تغفر لنا وترحمنا لنكن من الخاسرين. Alhamdulillah, thumma alhamdulillah, thumma alhamdulillah, al-qail, alhamdulillah alladhi lahu ma fi as-samawati wa ma fi al-ardi wa lahu al-hamdu fi al-akhirah, wa huwa al-hakim al-khabir. Wa sallallahu sallam ala rasulullah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi al-abrar. Amma ba'd. My respected elders, brothers and sisters, in closing, let us quickly mention about a brother who went home to go to Hajj, and on that same day his mother passed away, and he's asking for dua. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have mercy on her. All the deceased, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have mercy on them. Our children, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put barakah in them. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put barakah in them. May they be far better than us. May they become contributing factor to the betterness of America. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect all of us. Those who have just, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put barakah in it. Those who don't, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala open the ways for them. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect each and every one of you. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us Jannah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive us. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. قوموا إلى صلاتكم وارحموا يرحمكم الله.
الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمد رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح قد قامت الصلاة قد قامت الصلاة الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله.
استقيموا استقيموا. Please just come, don't follow the line, just come, yes, come in front of the line so that you make extra stuff, yes, in front of the line so that you make space for your brothers. Jazakumullah khairan.
Come here, come here.
Stuck in. Allahu Akbar. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim. Malik Yawmiddin. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. قل قل إني نهيت أن أعبد الذين تدعون من دون الله لما جاءني البينات من ربي وأمرت أن أسلم لرب العالمين. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله.
في سبيل الله. في سبيل الله.
في سبيل الله وجزاكم الله خيرا. في سبيل الله وجزاكم الله خيرا.